12 News at 10. A Northwest Phoenix neighborhood wakes up to crime scene tape. We'll tell you what happened and why there's a separate police shooting that could be connected.
The much-anticipated cool down arrives this week, when we could see highs in the 80s minutes away.
Former President Donald Trump holding a campaign rally in Arizona again. He's up north today. Who he brought on stage with him. A comet that hasn't been seen in 80,000 years is making an appearance once again. Where and when you can see it.
12 News at 10 starts now.
Thank you for joining us on 12 News at 10. I'm Troy Hayden. First tonight, a man believed to be involved in a deadly shooting in Northwest Phoenix was killed in an officer-involved shooting. Police responding to calls of a shooting near 49th Avenue in Thunderbird about 8 o'clock this morning. Witnesses pointed out a man who they say was part of it. Officers tried to stop him, but he drove off, leading police on a short chase. It ended near 99th Avenue and Thunderbird Road, where the man allegedly got out of his car, pulled out a gun, and pointed it at officers. Those officers then shot at him, and the man also apparently shot himself. He died at the hospital. The victim of the initial shooting was also killed.
It's a tragic incident today here for our community where two people have lost their lives.
No officers were hurt. Police are still trying to figure out what happened and what started that first shooting. Phoenix police trying to find a suspect in connection with another deadly shooting. Detectives telling us it happened this morning at a home near Baseline and 27th Avenue. Police say when they got there, the man was already dead. Police asking anybody with any information to call a silent witness, and that number is 480-WITNESS. Two children are rushed to the hospital after being hit by a car in the North Valley. It happened in Anthem near Galvin Peak Parkway. Daisy Mountain Fire Department says both children were taken to the hospital. They are expected to be okay. The driver stayed at the scene, and speed and impairment, neither are being considered a factor in that crash. Here we are just weeks away from Election Day. We're turning to Decision 2024, and we're learning more about a man who was arrested near former President Donald Trump's campaign rally in Coachella, California, near Palm Springs. Federal officials say as of now, there's no evidence to indicate the man detained before the rally yesterday had any intention of trying to shoot Donald Trump. Sheriff Chad Bianco revealed at a news conference today that when they found him and stopped him, they found a lot of guns on him.
The deputy eventually found multiple passports with multiple names, multiple driver's license with different names. The vehicle was unregistered, and the license plate was what we in law enforcement would recognize as one that is homemade and indicative of a group of individuals that claim to be sovereign citizens.
Authorities detained him on gun charges, and he was jailed. He later posted a $5,000 bond and was able to get out of jail. Donald Trump's campaign responded to the events, thanking law enforcement for their action. And today, the former president held a rally here in Arizona in Prescott Valley. He also got the endorsement of the National Border Patrol Council at that event. 12 News journalist Justin Pizzera with a look at the rally today.
Shortly before the rally, Mr. Trump held a roundtable backstage where he really focused on addressing the voters who are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That is a group that he wants to focus on and that he really wants to come out and vote this election cycle. During the rally, though, much of this speech was focused on the southern border. That is the number one issue he says is facing the country. In a packed arena in Prescott Valley, former President Donald Trump laid out his plan and complaints about the country and his opponent, Vice President Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris's reign of terror ends the day I take the oath of office.
For 2 hours, Mr. Trump spoke to the crowd. The bulk of his speech focused on the southern border.
The number one issue they have down is the economy and inflation, and I agree they're horrible issues. But I think the number one issue is the destruction of our country, what's happened at the border.
In Sunday's speech, Mr. Trump proposed a law dating back to 1798, which gives the president power to detain and deport foreign enemies.
No, this is a little different act, the Aliens Enemy Act, 1798, to target and dismantle every migrant criminal network operating on American soil, 100%.
Critics believe the law could be broadly used to detain and deport illegal immigrants without due process and would give the president too much sweeping power. Trump is also proposing a mandatory prison sentence without the possibility of parole if someone crosses the border illegally and is caught doing it again, and the death penalty if an illegal immigrant kills an American citizen. Mr. Trump says if he wins, he will rescue Arizona.
November 5th, 2024 will be Liberation Day in America.
Mr. Trump says that he is really looking forward to holding another rally, this time at Madison Square Gardens on October the 27th. That'll be the final stretch of the campaign. He says his campaign is also looking at booking arenas in Pennsylvania and Atlanta. Reporting in Prescott Valley, Justin Pizarro, 12 News.
Justin, thank you. Vice President Kamala Harris also holding campaign events in a battleground state today. In fact, new polling is showing that these battleground states could still go either way, coming right down to the wire. So she spoke at a church in Greenville, North Carolina, and then headed to an arena with a crowd of some 7,000 supporters to speak with them. North Carolina, of course, still dealing with devastation from Hurricane Helene, and Harris spoke about the storm and the recovery.
And he and Governor Cooper are not here today because they've been working around the clock dealing with the hurricane recovery efforts. And we want to always thank them and all the incredible local, state, and federal leaders who have been working together for North Carolina.
So again, take your polls for what you will, but they show that North Carolina is a toss-up, just like Arizona and about every other battleground state. But North Carolina hasn't voted for a Democratic presidential nominee since Barack Obama in 2008. And as we look ahead this week, we have more big political names coming to Arizona, and we've learned that former President Barack Obama will be here in Arizona. He'll be in Tucson on Friday, campaigning for Kamala Harris. Coming up next, how you can celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day tomorrow here in the Valley. And also SpaceX making big history with this big rocket that could someday take us to Mars. Why today was such a big milestone. Lindsay.
And the week has arrived where the cooler temperatures arrive. We have one more record high tomorrow, and then we are going down in the temperature department. Details minutes away.
Troy, and I'm just going to say to this, that rocket did something the Cardinals struggled to do today. Coming up next on 12 Sports Tonight at 10:30, ugly day for the Cardinals in Green Bay. We're going to check in with Lena Washington. She is on the road with the team. We'll take you inside the Cardinals locker room for a reaction. And our insider, Dan Bickley, is going to sound off on what this loss means for the Cardinals, right? Is there hope? We'll see. Plus, the Suns in Denver tonight for some preseason action. Only 10 days till opening night. No starters, so the rookies, they took flight. But don't look now, the Sun Devils have activated the Valley. Why Kenny Dillingham is the long-term answer in Tempe.
12 News at 10 will be right back.
Get Arizona news from 12 News on demand 24 hours a day with 12 Plus. Stream breaking news, weather impact alerts.
Here's the excessive heat warning.
Momcast with Emma Jade.
Help protect our kids online.
Locked on Sports.
D-back Cardinals Suns.
The biggest stories of the week on Weekend and more.
Here at 12 News, we strive to bring you the very best journalism.
12 Plus is a convenient way for you to watch 12 News on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. It's simple. We're even going to walk you through how to find and download 12 Plus. First, grab your remote and navigate to the search menu. Type in 12 News. Now, look for our logo with the Arizona State outline and download the app. That's it. When you click, it's an easy way for you to stay informed and the best way for you to join us here on 12 News. Download and watch 12 Plus for free right now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Recognize the history of Indigenous people and celebrate their communities. Artists will come together at the Indigenous Peoples Day Phoenix Fest to celebrate the culture, music, and art of Indigenous people. The event is happening at the Arizona Center on 3rd Street in Phoenix from 10 in the morning till 9 tomorrow night. It will also include a skateboard competition, food vendors, and more. A lot of people also celebrate the day as Columbus Day in many parts of the country. Tickets still available online. SpaceX's Starship rocket, the most powerful rocket ever built, completed its 5th test flight in dramatic fashion today. The Super Heavy rocket booster, along with the spacecraft, launching this morning from Boca Chica, Texas. Yeah, look at that thing shooting up into the air. So the main ship itself detached from boosters, and then the booster came down to Earth 10 minutes later and is caught right there on the ground. The craft itself flew halfway around the world before splashing down in the Indian Ocean. Now, this was not a manned flight, but the flight is a key milestone towards the company's aim to make a Starship a fully reusable rocket system and someday take men to Mars. So our record heat continues today. But this could be the last day, Lindsay, that we're saying that, right? Or at least we have relief in sight.
Tomorrow, yes.
Yes.
Tomorrow's our last day of saying that. That will make 21 days in a row where we have had record highs. That is by far the longest stretch of record highs ever. But we are looking at some relief that arrives this week. Finally, we have been very patient waiting for it. Today, we topped out at 103 degrees. Our average is in the low 90s. We set the record by 2 degrees today, the previous record being 101. Forecast for tomorrow, 102. The record to beat is 100. Our normal high goes down to 90 for the day tomorrow. So we're still well above it. All these records, they began on September 24th, but tomorrow likely the last day. So 3 weeks straight of record highs. The previous record was just 7 days in a row. So we tripled that with this latest stretch of heat. Here's a look at our Monday across the state. Notice a little bit more cloud cover around the Grand Canyon, Page, and Payson. But here in the valley, it's going to be a bright and sunny day. Lake Havasu, much of the same, 98 degrees out in western Arizona. But the pattern's going to shift later this week, and we are talking some rain chances for parts of the high country beginning Friday and going into next weekend. Even our chances here in the valley, not zero heading into next weekend, but we're going to be on the cusp for any rain chances. You can see best chance will be Flagstaff, the Rim up toward the Grand Canyon, and then Phoenix right on the outlying edge of some of that moisture moving in late next week. It's going to be minimal, but we will experience the cooler temperatures. We have an area of low pressure that's going to be sinking down over our state. Here's some of that moisture. That's Friday afternoon at 1 p.m. and some of that gets into the lower deserts. Even Friday night, we'll have showers across the area. That low is going to park itself right over Arizona next weekend, and that will bring some hit or miss showers through, especially the high country, as we head into next Saturday and Sunday. Big cool down. We go from 102 tomorrow down into the 80s. That's below average on Saturday and Sunday. And up in the high country, we're going from 75 on Monday down to the 50s next weekend. So a little bit of a change moving in this week. You can see on our Flagstaff 7-day, those rain chances going up late in the week, especially on Friday. And here in the valley, we'll have slight rain chances under 20%, but you'll definitely notice the cooler temps by next weekend. Troy?
Oh, that is going to be a sweet weekend. Looking forward to that one. Still ahead on 12 News at 10, how you can stay safe while navigating the massive amount of construction we've got going on our freeways right now. That's coming up after this. Valley. Look at this, and it shows the moments. Whoa, a driver almost went into a construction zone here before swerving out of the way at the last minute. And if you've driven around the valley much recently, over the last, year, almost 2 years, you know the roads are covered in construction. Tonight, 12 News journalist Chase Golightly tells us how common these construction crashes are and what you can do to avoid them.
It seems like anywhere you drive to in the valley, you're going to run into a construction zone. And new data from ADOT shows crashes in those areas is going up. It was along Lower Buckeye Road when Adrian Corrales nearly crashed.
Start emergency recording.
His dash cam showing him driving in a construction zone when all of a sudden his car went into where work is being done before he swerved into oncoming traffic, then back to his lane. He says there were no signs warning him to merge, but taking a closer look at the video, you can see it appears that sign was knocked down, possibly hit by another driver. Close to a week after the video was taken, that sign now appears to be back up. Still, Corrales says his car did get some damage from that night. You would hope situations like this are rare, but with dozens of road construction projects all over the valley, ADOT officials say they're seeing more of these incidents.
It boils down to driving alert, paying attention to the signage, and slowing down.
Kelsey Moe, a spokesperson with the Arizona Department of Transportation, says in 2023, there were 1,147 work zone crashes, which is higher than what they saw in 2022.
That resulted in 17 fatalities and 21 serious injury crashes that resulted in 28 serious injuries.
Deaths and serious injuries also higher than previous years, going back to 2019.
That is across all Arizona roads, so both freeways and local streets.
Moe says people speeding through these construction zones is a big factor.
It is one of the major causes of work zone crashes, so that's why we always tell drivers to maintain and keep a safe distance between your car and the car in front of you, so in case you need to react, you have enough time to do so.
The best thing to do to keep you and other drivers safe, Moe says, is to slow down in these zones. Be sure to follow the posted speed limit and really pay attention to your surroundings. It may help prevent you from getting into situations like this. ADOT tells me all the crash data they receive is from state and local law enforcement. As for the data for 2024, that's expected to be released sometime early next year. We're in the newsroom. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Chase, thank you. Coming up, it has not been spotted since early man was walking around our planet some 80,000 years ago. But guess what? It's back, and you can see it. We'll tell you how. station. This is something that has not been seen by humans in a very long time, but it is back. This is a comet making its closest approach on a return voyage to our planet. Now, people in the southern hemisphere, they've already been able to take in this once-in-a-lifetime, once-in-several lifetimes event. Scientists say for the next few weeks, we here in Arizona can look in the western sky just after sunset, and we can catch a glimpse of this comet. And you better do it, because it won't be visible again from Earth for another 80,000 years. Thank you so much for watching 12 News. Don't go away. 12 Sports Night is coming your way in just a few minutes. We appreciate you watching. We'll see you tomorrow.